What's going on? I am. What's going on? Uh, basically, just I got home about a couple hours ago. It's kind of like just I don't know. I kind of like you know getting out the house, man. Doing DoorDash gives me an excuse to get out the house, if not nothing else. And I'm driving and I'm gathering my thoughts. I mean, normally I work from home, so I don't really travel much. I can stay at home for 2 or 3 days without getting any type of cabin fever. If I could take a couple trips around the neighborhood with my bike, my e-bike. That's enough excitement for me. I mean, I basically can deal with a lot of boredom. You know, I could deal with a level of boredom that would drive a lot of people crazy. I could deal with like day in, day out boredom, like routine tasks for a year or longer without so much of being phased by it. I mean utterly my my I'll just say stoic abilities would drive the average person crazy, man or woman. My abilities to just do things and just be monotonous with it, routine. Yeah, it'll drive a lot of people crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but yeah, I mean it breaks the monotony doing DoorDash. I mean, if not nothing else. But I was thinking, I mean, basically, it's a couple things I want to talk about tonight. The first thing is, and I'll definitely get to my trading system. The first thing is that this is not something that was new to me as far as my thoughts or whatever. But one of the things that I thought about as far as relative to what most people do, and just basically one of the things that I've heard many a times before is you're either rich or poor. You're either rich or poor. It's no in between. You, and here's the thing. Follow me here. So if you're not rich by default, you're poor. But you know what? Most people don't look at it like that. People are trained from like childhood to cope with basically being poor. That's the financial black pill that is taught, that you're you're not poor. The cope comes from basically family. Family teaches you that because they don't want you to, like, when you're a kid, they don't want you to be shamed. So a lot of times family, either your mom or your dad or auntie or whatever, they coach you on what to say, and they the first teachers to uh, kind of teach you cope, basically, in a nutshell. they teach you how to basically cope. I don't know what's going on. Like my phone connection is relatively slow. I don't know if it's because I don't know why that is, but yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Just gotta get that Game of Thrones um scene. Cause I mean this is pretty much this describes, what I have going on anyway. But here's the deal, right? You either rich or you're poor. And what if the cope of I'm not poor? What's the average person they're gonna say? They're gonna argue that they're not poor. And statistically, less than 10% of people are actually rich. So everybody else is technically poor in what I'm saying in my scenario. You know, see, I started telling the truth, and I'm like a preacher. I'm like a real good preacher. I tell the truth and it hurts. I tell the truth and people don't want to listen because they want to. People run from the truth. The average person runs from the truth. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried about that shit. I don't worry about what people do and all of that. Um, I have like some disciples that follow me that will basically um they understand what I'm saying. They this is not a hard concept for you to understand. I've been saying this actually for years, to be honest. I just said a lot of people are broke, but what I thought about and it's usually a lot of times it's like before I'm going in the shower or something. I have like some of my best thinking before I go, like either pre-shower, during a shower, or post-shower. I have some of my best thoughts. And one of those thoughts is like, yeah, you either rich or you poor. And what if, society and friends and family coaching you or coping or whatever, or both, telling you that you're not poor is actually hurting you, is actually hurting your life. What if that is the case? What if that is the case that you basically being coached or told that you're not poor is hurting your life? See, here's the thing, right? This is a thought, right? This is another thought when I just had, right? Just think about what I'm just saying. I'm saying basically 90% of people are poor. 90% of Americans are poor. And see, this is why I don't talk about this is why I'm not, I don't appeal to the masses. I don't talk about, you know, identity politics, FBA and tethers and all of that shit. No, I have no space for that. Because you know why? That talk is for the poor masses. That's poor talk. That's you know, if you want to be a really good YouTuber, I'll give you a pointer. I've been on YouTube for over a decade. Appeal to the masses. That's how you become a successful YouTuber. And what are the masses what people want to talk about? They want to talk about poor shit. They want to talk about poor people and what they do. And what poor people do is talk about identity politics. Because you know why? Because it's cope to not talk about the most important thing. The economy, the oligarchs, the plutocrats, the US deficit, things of that nature are more important than fucking identity politics will ever be. I would even say a lot of the identity politics And that's included racism and all of that type of talk and all of that. You know what goes. You know what I notice? Why so many people are talking about identity politics is because people are fucking poor as fuck and have been for the last decade or so. And one of the things in the muck of, let's just say, Brokistan or Pooristan or whatever you want to call it, is a bunch of muck. And amongst the muck is identity politics. Yeah, identity politics is leaning in outward and saying other people are the problem or this and that because you're fucking broke. You're fucking poor. That's why identity politics is so like the talk and discussion on identity politics is literally through the roof. And the reason being is because people are fucking distracted. They want some distraction from being poor. And then, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my StreamYard. It's like I don't know what the hell. This shit is fucking blowing me. Um but anyway, poor shit and they want some type of coat to deal with it. But I understand this. I am a genius, and I'm smart enough to recognize the problems that people have, including I am part of people. I am part of the people, right? You know what I'm saying? So I understand. I get it. It varies. It's probably be an eighth grader and figure that shit out. Yeah, when people go broke, when people don't have that much money, they start coping. They start coping all over the place. It's all kinds of way to cope. And identity politics is the cope. It's the dope for the cope. And it's like, soon, I like listening to certain shows and shit. I'm at work, you know, put my work in. Soon as work is over with, shut the laptop off. I don't want to hear that shit anymore. Go take my afternoon after work nap or whatever. Go on my mission for the day. I mean, like literally. I mean, that's what that is. But, you know, that's a whole nother side of, that's a side note, right? That's a sidebar. But here's the deal, right? Here's the skinny. I do believe that you're either rich or poor. And I think definitely most people are poor, including myself. I'm a poor man. Okay. And I think people not acknowledging that they're poor is actually part of a major problem. And this is I know you got brain cells. You can obvious point out the problems with not recognizing that you're actually are poor. You're not rich. There's only two options in the scenario of just two options. You're either rich or poor, and I know you're smart enough to recognize a problem with not recognizing that you're actually poor in that scenario, and just in reality in itself, not recognizing that you're poor is a major problem. Obvious reason being is My bad. I was talking and I looked up and I was like, damn, what happened? But I noticed some connection lagging anyway, but I guess it worked itself out. But yeah, what I was saying is looking at things on a delusionary level is very counterproductive.
This one.
What?
Yeah, I mean just think about it. I'm a sailor, but I'm also an airman as well. I was on an aircraft carrier. All right. If you go out to sea, go out on a journey, you go out in the open ocean. Open ocean doesn't have a fucking 7-Eleven, okay? The open ocean doesn't have a fucking Walmart in the open ocean. Doesn't have a 24-hour CVS or Walgreens or Rite Aid either. You either got what you need before you left to go to that, to that in that ocean, or you're fucked. It's no either or either. I mean, it's either or. You can have everything you need and still be fucked. That's the power of water. That's the power of the ocean. You can fucking you can sink. The ship can sink. A lot of different things can happen. But if you don't have enough resources on that ship, you're literally you're at the behest of that ocean. You and you're too far along to go back. So you're just out at the mercy of whoever supplied the ship. And the thing is what I'm saying as far as the poor and rich scenario, if you've been living your whole life, and I know that's why people like, click off and they don't want to really they don't want to listen to this. It's almost like their parents are talking to them, or their grandparents are giving them a lecture again or whatever, right? But see, here's the thing, right? If you've been plotting and planning your whole life as if you're fine, and you actually are a ship that's, if you actually have to sail out in the ocean, you will sink, or you will basically turn into a cannibal because you don't have enough food. And you know how do you survive out in the open ocean with no food? You can't. And then you can't really fish either, or I don't know, you don't have anything to fish. Let's just say that. um yeah, you cooked. It's a disastrous scenario, right? Well, that's obviously what happens if you brought up to believe that you actually are okay. Like, here's the thing: people are actually brought, because it's really cope. Middle class. The word middle class, they can basically eliminate the word middle class and just basically put cope. I know people don't like this. I know people don't like this. I know.
This is the worst.
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
I know. I don't like it either, because I'm not rich. I really need a rich guy or woman more than I ever did in my entire life, probably. Reason being is I have basically a money making system. Don't have that much money to put in it. So I'm grateful for what I make, But honestly, I'm really not, because I'm just so money hungry that I'm used to making a certain amount. It's kind of like being a kid. So anyway, I made about $35 in the market today, which is great. Excellent. Probably the most I've made from my trading system. But obviously, I'm not 5 years old, and this is not 1985. Me getting $35 is not that big of a deal to me. It is in the sense of the proof of concept is there, and it's actually real money. I actually did make this, right? And it does compound. Compounding does take place when you have, consecutive profitable days. But here's the deal, right? I'm not 5 years old or 7 years old. $35, like literally, when I used to be a paper boy, and that's how much I used to make the whole month back in like 1987, or 88. I used to make about 35 bucks a whole month. I just remembered that shit just doing this live stream. I probably never would even connected the dots to me being a paper boy, just without this dialogue. But yeah, true story. I used to literally be a paper boy 1987, between 1987 and 1988. That was how much I used to make delivering newspapers. The shopper is located in South Holland, Illinois. They delivered to Calumet City, Dalton, and Riverdale and South Holland. I basically had to just deliver about a few blocks, about 3 or 4 blocks. And, I had my papers. They would deliver the papers to me. My job was to deliver them. Made 35 bucks. I used to have to deliver about once a week. About once a week. And I would make 35 bucks a whole month, or like $38 or something like that. And they would pay me cash in like some little envelope. They'll drop the cash off in like my mailbox or something. True story. I'm a dinosaur. But I had a job literally at 7 years old. I was a paper boy. That's how much I used to make. I made that in one day. Okay. Trading, not even doing anything. Just basically having my computer running, and then basically having my internet connection pick up my internet. Pick up my computer. The code basically did its job, did its work, and I was just doing my regular job, which of course is, you know, basically, I make way more than 35 bucks doing my job, my day-to-day job, right? Um, so all in all, it's like, I could use some money from like some, high net worth individual, but I don't know anybody that's gonna give me any money. And I had an aha moment, right? I'm doing DoorDash. I'm in uh I'm in Markham, Illinois. It's kind of Markham, Illinois is like it's in between sketchy and kind of like, it could go down to, yeah, it's still the suburbs, right? And then see this dude walking on the side of the fucking, um, boulevard. As I was on a boulevard, I was on Sibley Boulevard, and it goes. I think it switches names when you go like to Markham, but I'm not sure. But basically, it was this dude walking on the side of the overpass that I was, driving through. And I was like, man, I was gonna pull over and ask him if he needed a ride. And I'm like, I looked at him, and then I'm like, well, I don't really, what I'm saying, this dude could like, he probably needs some money, probably on crack. I'm really technically working, so I can't go too far because I'm going a direction to drop some shit off or whatever. I can't pick him up. You know what? All of that I just thought in my head is the same H&I investor or possible funder would think about me or say to me, like, I don't know this dude. I'm not giving him any money. Blah 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 blah. Same thought. Here I am, not trusting, not pick people up. I picked strangers up before. I've gotten rides from strangers walking alongside the road. They asked me if I needed a ride. I've done that. I mean, some people probably wouldn't take a lift from a stranger, but yeah, I'm crazy enough to have done that a multitude of times throughout my life. I've gotten picked up from strangers. Shit, man, I've been so broke, man. I remember I was driving off the expressway. I had a I had like a Chevy Impala. I had like 3 or 4 Chevy Impalas. It's not necessarily my favorite car, but I do like Chevy Impalas. They're pretty easy to work on as well. Um, but like they were cheap, they were dirt cheap, the like kind of bubble style. Not the box. After the box, they went to the like, bubble, like, like bullet car looking. Not that one. Those are like collector's items. Those are kind of expensive. I'm talking about like the kind of boxy, bubblish version. Basically, the Impala that's from like 2000 to like 2005. You know that body style. Um, yeah, like I bought it for like $800 off Craigslist. The guy lived like down the street, and the engine was knocking, and I noticed the engine was knocking, and I'm just driving the car. I'm like, whatever. Engine is knocking away. I'm doing a service call in like Joliet, Illinois, like literally where like the Blues Brothers escape prison or something or whatever. Like basically, it's about 30 miles away. And I go do the service call. I'm having problems. I'm barely able to get the car to start. It's clunking away. I get to the expressway. I didn't notice anything other than the car was kind of overheating. Yeah, I noticed it was. But what I didn't notice was the fucking car was on fire while I was on the expressway. All I know is like it's like I'm in a damn movie. It's like I'm in a movie Dumb and Dumber, and the two dudes that was in Dumb and Dumber, like Jim Carrey, I forgot the other actor. They like yelling at me that my car is on fire. And then I kind of look out the fucking like rear view or something, and I saw it, and I like literally pulled the car over. Like two white dudes was like fucking yelling at me that my car was on fire. I didn't even know my fucking car was on fire. Fucking car was on fire. I get out the car. I'm thankful that they stopped. I'm thankful that they, basically saved my life. Two white dudes saved my life, right? Telling me my car was on fire. I had enough gumption to listen to, to read lips a little bit, you know, and I pulled my ass over. And the car literally, it went from the motion of like the engine was on fire. Then what happens is after a while, the car, the basically usually the car fires start at the engine. So once the engine catches on fire, then it starts to work its way into the interior. The glass basically starts to, basically buckle and break, and then the car goes into the interior. Then it makes its way back to the gas tank, and basically the car is an inferno at that point. And then the fire department, they were right there. They, hosed it down or whatever, and it was pretty much fucking, you know, headed to the scrap yard at that point. And these two white dudes, they drove me home. You know, that's actually not even the first time some two white dudes picked me up because I had like a car that like basically had some car issues. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm used to being like I'm old school. I don't like that just something people did. They used to do hitchhiking and shit. Like I never hitchhiked, but yeah, I've gotten picking up by strangers before. You know what I'm saying? It's happened. Probably will continue to happen. I don't know. I mean, the thing is though, I judged the man and I said I wasn't gonna pick him up or I didn't even ask him. And the same way if I asked someone for 100 grand to put into my trading system, how they would approach me. You know, you just think about it, right? A person to give you a buck, anybody to give you a buck, $10, it's gonna be hard. You're gonna be out there bumming for a while because ain't nobody gonna hardly give you $10. It'll take a while for somebody to give you attention. You know, that's what they call it. Where I'm from, like attention. Like it'll be kind of hard for you to get the $10, right? It'll take a while. I'll just say $20, same, might even be harder, a little bit harder than getting $10. Let's say $100. You be out there all day begging, trying to get $100. Maybe one person might be able to give you $100 because you're there at literally asking for $100. You get where I'm going with this, right? Let's just say you ask for $1,000. You'll waste your fucking bumhood. You'll waste your panhandling skills just being out there in front of a fucking 7-Eleven or some shit asking someone for $1,000. They'll probably start laughing. You probably get somebody a heart attack from the laughter that they would exude. Like it's almost gut level, laugh factory shit. You just out in front of, it's almost like a prank. Like, are you pranking me? Are you on YouTube? Are those Ray-Ban glasses or uh Meta glasses? You're in front of fucking store asking for $1,000. First of all, very few people probably have $1,000 on them. And the people that do have $1,000, they're not giving you the $1,000. It'll almost be damn near impossible. You stood in front of a fucking store, whatever. You can even be downtown where you can be in Billionaires Row in the Gold Coast. You'd be hard pressed to get a fucking $1,000 for a stranger to give another stranger $1,000 fucking dollars. So just think about it. Asking for 10,000, 100,000, mission and fucking possible. Damn near. because it's almost a second, it's a chance. It's always a chance, right? I mean, that's not how you would go about doing that, right? Well, that's the thing, right? I mean, my system, it could kind of need, it could do okay with gasoline. It could do okay with like vegetable oil, maybe, um, propane, but with some damn gasoline or jet fuel, that thing will fucking take off, and that's the thing, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not it's not as magical as I'll be honest, it's not necessarily as magical as I thought it was. you know, um if it was magical, it wouldn't matter if you only had $1,000 to put in it. It'll just turn it into 10,000 and 100,000. and it's like, um it's not that fucking magical in the sense of it does make money, but to make big money, you got to kind of put big money in it. You know, you gotta you gotta put money in it to get money out of it. And the more money you put in it, the better. And that's kind of what I'm dealing with. But it's not a bad scenario though. I mean, it's actually something that I wanted years ago, but it's not actually a bad scenario because it's already generating a profit. It'll eventually compound over time, and the more I put into it, it'll eventually get to the point where, it's gonna grow, the account will grow, right? Well, I mean that's a slow way, but it's like, um, yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, I have to have some type of money coming in there to big money to kind of make some serious gains. But I mean, that's a problem, that is an obvious problem that it makes sense that is the problem because I'm not rich. I'm not a rich man. So I have a lot of the problems that a poor man would have, you know. But see, here's the thing, right? Just think about this, right? And this goes into dating and mating. Um, Women actually, they say they want men to have money and they want men to provide, and they don't want to go 50-50 and all of that. And it's really, to be honest, if you really think about it, right? Let's look at it from the lens of rich and poor. Those women, they really kind of saying we want a rich man, kind of in a way, but not really. But really, the only men that they're probably most likely dating or trying to deal with are other poor men. There was a time, when I was younger, you didn't have to be. Women were not that hypergamous like that. They weren't into. I'm not saying all women, but most women, they just kind of like, women will like deal with you based off of a vibe. Like say, back in the 90s, getting women with a vibe was like literally, like, it was just textbook. Like, you didn't need to be no high value man. You didn't need to be, buying Birkins and uh, Louis Vuittons and Gucci and Prada and none of that. You didn't have to do anything. It was a plus if you smell good. If you had some Izzy Miyake or some Cool Water, that was a bonus. If you had a car, even better. I mean, like if you had a car, I'm talking like a used car that's like old as hell. You were like, man, you were better. I mean, I'm talking about 18, 19 years old. Like, there's still a lot of people that didn't have cars when I was coming up, you know, even being 18 and 19, they was catching a bus. Wasn't no Ubers back then. No Ubers or Lyfts, so it was, women back then were just, they were, they understood all of this. They understood what people had, what the problems that people had. They people's options, and they were okay with it. But the thing is, it's like, yeah, I mean, I think that's why a lot of women are complaining. They only can deal with other poor men just like themselves. They want a rich man. They're saying that on TikTok and Instagram, that they want a rich man, but a lot of them can't get a rich man. At least a rich man to take them serious in a long-term relationship. They can't do that because of whatever reason, but it's like that's what they want. And most of them only gonna deal with men just like themselves, other poor men. And that's where a lot of the complaints and everything. That's why the complaint department is just pretty busy right now. But yeah, I mean, I think I think looking at things from a lens of rich and poor is effective. Because I mean, most likely if you are poor, most likely you are, likely listening to me, you are a poor person. And being a poor person and living your life as such will put you ahead of the person that believes in the middle class in all its glory and, you know, greatness and mediocrity. You'll be ahead of that person because meanwhile you'll be, because you won't, because see, having a philosophy based off of being poor, you're not going to go buy nothing. You ain't going to go hardly do anything. You probably enjoying the fucking park trails, you know, bringing a bag of trail mix and camping gear, prepping yourself just in case, you have to live outside. I mean, like, I mean, because you living within reality. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't, I do. This is also therapy for me as well. But like, yeah, um, people that believe in the middle class, if you had a philosophy of, instead of a middle class philosophy, had a poor philosophy, you'll do better than the middle class person, because the middle class person is going to stay in delusion until they either get cancer, high blood pressure, or stroke and die. They're going to live in delusion and mediocrity and slavery, and basically debt slavery, while you being a poor person, Your credit is A1. You're not buying any fucking luxurious brands or anything. You might have like one or two items that you got you found out of the Goodwill, like that's it. And like you're literally basically a miser, or at the very least you're frugal. You're living frugal. Whereas the middle class person, he's gonna max out credit cards, loans, car loans, mortgage loans, student loans, and go into debt through his eyeballs, her eyeballs. And then you basically, slavery has now begun. Fight. You become a corporate slave, you know, by proxy of you thinking that you're middle class, having a middle class philosophy. What is the middle class philosophy? I'm okay. I'm okay. Like, how are you? I'm okay. 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 And it's like, what is that? Okay. What do you mean you're okay? But the thing is that's the code. That's what you're taught. Middle class. Yeah. We all have mortgages and car notes. We're the middle class. We're right in between mediocrity and greatness and failure. The middle class. It's like the middle class nightmare is you work and you don't have nothing to fucking retire on. Or if you do have something to retire on, you get to live in a state owned senior building because you had a good time in Cabo back in 1989 using your Discover card with 25% interest APR, and you maxed it all up, and you got a loan and a loan and another loan and another loan and a loan and a loan on a loan and a loan and a loan, and lived a lonely life because no man could pay your bills. Now you're 80, 89 or 80, 85, living in a state-owned senior building with dank weed, grease in the hallways. You know, I know poverty in an apartment, and one of the smells of poverty, I'm almost certain of it, is dank weed, chicken grease, and a little bit of stank, like must or something. That's definitely poverty. at least that's black poverty for sure. For sure. um and yeah, that's your existence. That's your reality because of your financial choices. Having a middle class philosophy based off of capitalism that was pushed and propagandized for people to be basically cooked alive and eaten at the same time, literally. um and the thing is I know I'm not your typical financial channel, but I'm a financial channel nonetheless, believe it or not. It's almost, it's kind of tripped out. I started this channel because Boyce Watkins, he was like, we need more financial channels. And I was like, you know what? I'll do it. Um, yeah, I know Boyce Watkins, people call him a simp. I mean, even I do. They talk about, a lot of different things and whatnot. But the man is still good at what he does. Very good at what he does. He might have some, he might have some might be rough around the edges. He might have some ways about him or whatever that's kind of negative or whatever. I've heard some things as far as him owing people money and promising people and then not delivering and all of the type of stuff. But I mean, you know, that's why I created this channel. I mean, it was, it's kind of a call to action, and it's like, okay, and the rest is history. I mean, I didn't keep it corporate. I didn't keep it PG. I didn't keep it, you know, anything but a little ratchet here and there. But the thing is yes, this is definitely a financial channel. Not your typical financial channel, but a financial channel nonetheless. And from that, from what you're hearing is just kind of atypical finance. It's not your typical financial channel. I'm not part of the machine. I'm not part of the. I'm not. I'm definitely a non-conformist in many ways. You know, non-conformist for sure. And from that vantage point, yeah, you either rich or you poor. I think people believing that there's a middle class is 100% cope. And it's kind of dope at the same time because it's giving you just enough cope to keep you stuck and permanently stuck forever, just like a junkie, on Kensington with a gangster lean, you know, from a Finney cocktail, hit, that got doing a gangster lean on Kensington. Yeah, like that's the middle class for you. Take this coat. You're right in between. You're doing a good job, buddy. It's like somebody tell you could do a good job and then they leave you. This dumbass motherfucker. He thinks he's doing a good job. This stupid bum. He doesn't have a fucking chance in hell. He's gonna be dead before he pays that mortgage off. I mean, the muhaha people, man, they definitely laugh at the poors for sure. They definitely laugh. But the thing is this, right? If you understood that, you actually were poor, you're not rich, so you're poor, you'll live life on a level where you'll probably clip coupons. You probably go to the thrift store. You'll probably, do different things than what other people do because you live in accordance of your poor reality. Whereas I ain't gonna lie, I was taught, yeah, middle class. We middle class. Oh yeah, go college. Go Tigers. Meanwhile, you getting tiger uppercut when all those bills come due for all of those loans. Tiger uppercut. Oh man. And yeah, I mean, I was, I was taught, I drunk the Kool-Aid. Yeah, middle class, middle ass. And it's like, yeah, man, I'm I'm understanding. I got the full realization hopping in and out of that shower Thank you, Grandma. Um, that ain't no fucking middle class. Obviously, I've said that for years on this channel. That's not nothing new. But yeah, if it's no middle class, then it's just rich and poor, and you most likely are poor. I mean, just statistically speaking. And if you live like you're poor instead of living like you're middle class, as we're taught, get credit, pay off credit or whatever, get this and get that, and it, I mean, you're not getting credit to get rich, you're getting credit to buy shit to, make your wife happy or make both of you happy. Yeah, that's that's where that's why they wanted you to just cope and pretend. I think the cope was pretend like you're rich by basically borrowing from the rich. Meanwhile, the rich are the ones they balling out of control because they're already rich. And then it's like, okay, if you go to college, we'll get you a job, and then we'll give you shit tons of credit. So you'll kind of like look like you're us, but you're not really us, type of thing. Because you'll just basically, we'll give you a loan for a house, we'll give you a loan for a brand new car, we'll give you some credit cards, start you off, $15,000 limit. If you pay that off, we'll jump it up to about 25. And if you do well, we might give you a gold card with a $50,000 limit. And that was the deal. That was the new deal, right? And this credit economy just boomed, and this big financialization of the economy, and you know credit everywhere, loans, all kinds of financial vehicles as they call them. And it's like, yeah, I mean, these financial vehicles, the middle class definitely sopped it up with like a biscuit, and ate it and swallowed it whole. And now they're in a situation where they're working, they're in slavery, really, in a sense of, in a different way. Like the poor man probably still in slavery too, but he knows he's actually a slave. Or actually, it's not so much he knows he's a slave, he knows that eventually he's got a way out of this slavery because he's saving his money. He's not just poor in the sense of he's just going to the Goodwill just to be going to the Goodwill. He makes the same amount of money as the middle class person. He just lives in accordance with a poor man's philosophy versus a middle class philosophy, because it more aligns with his reality, what he thinks his true reality is. And he's not gonna max out all his credit cards on bullshit. He's not going to get a mortgage he can't afford. He's not gonna get any car payments. He knows a few mechanics he went to high school with, or he known for some years. He'd get a used car, $5,000 or less, and basically anything happens, he could take them to his buddies that he already knows and fix cars. But he knows how to get decent cars and whatnot. Yeah, he doesn't have any car loans, and not having a car loan. I think the average car loan in America is like $700 a month. And then full coverage, you gotta have full coverage. And that's even more because insurance costs are higher than they normally were, almost like 50% higher. So Now you have a higher insurance payment and a car payment is like $700 a month. You talking what? $10,000 a year to drive a car, to drive a new car, and you have to pay that every year. Actually, it's $12,000 a year. Actually, to be honest, about $12,000 a year to drive a new car, and you just compound that. You just think about that. Like let's say you got a 6-year car loan. That's a lot of money. That's enough money to actually buy a fixer up a house in the Midwest in a like a decent neighborhood, a fixer upper house, like about $70,000 over like a 10-year period. Because I know some people, my mom was like this too. She would get a car, she would keep a car payment because she'll pay by the time the car is close to being paid off, it start breaking down. Then she'll go get another car. These is American, 80s, 90s, built-in obsolescence and all that. My mom was get these American cars, Fords, Mercuries and shit. They break down 4 years, wouldn't even make it to 4 years. Then she had to trade the car in at a loss, roll over the car loan, the previous car loan, to the new car loan. And she did that for decades. And a lot of people do that. They believe that's normal. And you're literally robbing yourself of at the very least a house that's fully paid for. That car loan, those car loans that you constantly pay every day, every month, and for years and decades. Because it's most, what people do? They they take their brand new car, okay, they drive it for about 4 or 5 years, trade it in, and get the new car then, the newest car, whatever, the 2000 and whatever current year, and they'll just keep doing that. It's people that do that and they believe it's normal. They probably listen to me right now because I started talking about that and then I start getting spot balls. Like literally, people think that's normal. Like that's part of the like fabric of America. Like you get brand new cars and you pretend that you're rich. Like I mean, I don't know, but I mean, I seen that from my mom, and I definitely know that's not the way. That's evolutionarily speaking. I'm not doing what my mom used to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually, my mom smartened up and started to buy cars cash after she like hit her 40s. Like, she started buying cars cash, but I don't know. I mean, the damage was already done by then. But the thing is that yeah, I mean, if you were brought up to understand that you're not middle class, you're actually poor, you probably wouldn't do the things that other middle class people do that basically rob them from actually being rich. Because the less that you have to actually be rich, the less chance you will have to be rich. Thus, my trading system dilemma. I still need some money to like the more momentum, the better, right? Like, I mean, the money has to come from somewhere, right? I mean, I could think of all of the stupid shit that I bought, all of the car loans that I've had. I mean, shit, student loans. I mean, um, I never had a mortgage, so I can't include that. even apartments. I even include apartments. I could have just stayed living on my my grandparents or somewhere else. I mean, save money. Like all of that money, that shit goes up to like hundreds of thousands of dollars when you start to compound all of the, like, you know, bad financial decisions you made over the decades, over your lifetime or whatever, as far as you could think back. Yeah, you got more than enough money then to, like, man, that thing to pop, you know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, I mean, like, I'm kind of cooked already, but I mean, it's opportunity for, the youngest, person, I guess, 25 or 15-year old, like, to not have that philosophy. I mean, obviously, if you're not rich, like, to not have that middle class philosophy, throw that middle class philosophy in the trash can and burn that motherfucker behind you. Like, because the thing is you'll be robbed of actually being possibly rich by just swallowing the middle class delusion. Like, the middle class is like, it's like Neo before he took the red pill. That's what the middle class is. You actually believe that your job is so important and all of this. You're tied into it because you got a mortgage, you got car loan payments, you got credit card bills, and all of these, expenses and everything. You might live check to check, you might not. And, it pays for all your bills and everything. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, that's because you believe in a middle class philosophy. You believe in basically the matrix. Really, the middle class is like, yeah, like what I'm saying is the middle class, like the matrix. Like, you're in this fucking tube connected like a fucking incubator, like a baby inside a womb, and you getting fed slop, and you're just dreaming in this delusional state of nothingness, believing in the middle class. Yeah, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, it really, they really got us. That's all I can say. Like, they really had us. They had me for sure. And, I can't go back in time, unfortunately. you know, um, I can go forward, but, the thing is, the damage has definitely already been done. But I mean, it's people that's gonna. How many people is gonna actually watch this video? How many people gonna share this video? Like, it's people going to still in the matrix. Like, it's not like everybody's gonna watch this video and this is gonna go viral and people gonna start breaking out of the matrix. That's most likely not gonna happen. you know, and people are gonna either, still go along with it because that's just, they don't know any better, or they don't think that they can do any better. I don't know. But I mean, yeah, this is like really, this is, man, like, that's one of my biggest eye openers, like, I think this is like one of my best videos I've ever did, like one of them, because I mean, like, I literally, like, this, I had an aha moment, and me taking that aha moment and then talking to you on a live stream about it is just really eye-opening to believe, because, like, literally, I'm not making none of this shit up. Everything I'm saying is not I'm not talking any tinfoil hat talk. This is not tinfoil hat talk at all. This is realistically reality. Like basically what I'm saying is worded differently than what other people have said. But like literally this is true. And I think it was something done, maybe the Rockefellers or something. They like propagandize people to be middle class, and you just get loans to look like you're richer than what you are, and look down on everybody else. And it's like at the end of the day, you still stuck wherever you at. Even the people that I went to school with, like the people I grew up with, like most people were like, I grew up in like a working class, middle class town, lower middle class, working class town, suburban town. It was mostly white people. Then like when I moved in and the other people moved in, other families moved in that were black, mainly coming from Chicago. Like, you know, white folks left. Like in the '90s, I moved in the '80s, and you know, by the '90s, like early '90s, the white people, a lot of them left. And I say all of that to say, it's like it still was it's a suburban middle class town. It was, maybe lower middle class, um, to working class, but definitely it was this. I grew up in the suburbs, in a black suburbs primarily. You know, um, it was other neighboring cities that was mostly white. They were still predominantly white. Now they're not. Now they're predominantly black, but back then the surrounding suburbs they were predominantly white still. But now that's not the case. But the thing is like growing up in the suburbs, like it's not like all of those families they went from middle class to rich. Maybe like one or two or three families maybe did that, but no, they still either they retired, and they retired, basically making less than what they were making from their job, or they're still working, trying to, basically make ends meet. Maybe they got a little bit of money saved away. They got a nice, retirement or something that they 401k or something, and they just still working. Or, they not working, they sick and they doing, terribly, collecting welfare and getting help from their family. Like those are the realities of the different families that I grew up with. Like none of them, hardly none of them are rich. Maybe their children, if you put their children in the mix, yeah, it's more. Some people I went to school with, they went to the NFL, NBA. Um, ain't nobody like took off into acting or singing or some shit and was like a successful multimillionaire A-list actor or some shit, but mainly sports, few entrepreneurs here and there, but the families, they ain't get rich. They stayed in the same class that they were in when I was living around them. And the thing is like that's the thing. If you're taught this middle class paradigm, this middle class philosophy, like I might not be a multimillionaire like Dave Ramsey or anybody, any of the financial gurus, but what I'm saying right now is hot shit. And I wish I heard this like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, because it would have changed my life. This is like life-changing information. It's almost like financial therapy in a sense. Like because like how you actually think is important. That's why, in the 3M system, mindset is the first step. It's because how you think is very important to, it's like the brains of the operation. It's like the computer of the whole process, which that involves, basically money management and momentum. But the brain, the mind, is the computer that generates all of these, the right circuits to the right parts and all of this, and it's like if your mindset is off, everything else is off, and it's like, yeah, like this middle class delusional philosophy or mindset, I think it's definitely a psyop. I would be, you know, I wouldn't do no research on it, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if I researched it and it's fucking a psyop. I mean, because it would have to be. Because you gotta think, if so many people believe this shit. I'm just some, tootin' any channel. I got some nice subscriber counts. I got, it is some people that are interested in some of my content, or even some of the viral shit that I post, maybe. But I mean, here's the deal. I ain't getting rich off of this as far as like, I barely get any cash apps. Like, you know, I had super chats, like I think maybe one or two live streams, and then I lost my monetization again. I talked about the Democrats, and it was like, yeah, give me this shit. I said I talked about the limousine liberals. Next thing you know, a motherfucker lost his monetization. One month I made like I had it for about a month, and like 1 month I think I made like $200. I was like, wow, this ain't bad. Just think about it. You ain't made shit, to then you got 200 and some bucks. That's $200 is not bad, man. You can pay some shit with that, man. Get you a tire or two, you know. But here's the deal, like, yeah, I talked about the limousine liberals. I talked about their ass, and it's I break shit down on a fucking, oh man, doctoral level. Like, I mean, I broke that shit down to the point where, because a lot of people probably are confused about how white people are as liberals versus how they are as Republicans, or Democrats, and Republicans. Like, they different, but it just do different things. They both racist. They just, the way they do racism is just a little bit different. And then how the white liberals do racism, and Republicans. I mean, historically, shit, the Democrats were the ones that actually enslaved your ass. They was the slaveholders. A lot of people don't know that shit. Like, the Democrats were the motherfuckers that was going, like, the Civil War. People actually, their mindset, this is what people's mindset is about the Democrats and the Republicans, right? The average black person, for sure. They believe in their mind that the Republicans were the ones that was part of the Civil War in the South. And it's like, no, them the motherfuckers that was fighting the fucking fuckers that was enslaving your ass. And it's like, you know, people don't understand that, and they don't really talk about that shit. Like, I never hear black Democrats talk about slavery and how it relates to the Republicans and the Democrats. Hardly any of them. I'll give probably one person that does it. Stanley Cross. But most of them that I've never heard them talk about it. Maybe mention it a few times, it may be to discredit someone that maybe is a Republican that talks about that, but not drill into it. But the thing is this. That's all I did. I talked about the limousine liberals and how the little sneaky shit that they do when it comes to their political party and political process. And yep, it's like I'll take that. I'll take that monetization. Youch, snouch. Took that shit. I mean, like, but here's the thing. Fortunately for me, I mean, I'm poor, but my poor, I got a little hot sauce, got a little twang with my my poor. I mean, I'm poor, but I mean, shit. I never did depend on no fucking YouTube. So I'm just not used to depending on YouTube. So it's like, okay, well, 1 month, grand opening, grand closing. Like, I mean, but I mean, I do understand the value of it. Like, I mean, because I got a lot of videos and a lot of people watch my videos. Like, the good thing about monetization, if you have content, which is the videos that are on your channel, um, it could be old videos you did 5 years, like, in the past, and people will still watch those videos, and you'll have people watching videos that you did years ago, and you'll get compensated for it. Versus if you don't have the monetization, you just won't get compensated for it. But I understand the value of that, but it's like, okay, I'm not like dependent on it. Like, I mean, I never had it, so depending on it is not something that I've ever, you know, it just wasn't never my reality, But it's people that you can get rich off of YouTube. I mean, don't get me, like, you can get fucking rich. Just YouTube alone, you can get rich. Like, um, with AdSense, with sponsorships, uh, like those two, and then selling merchandise and stuff like that, like other offerings, I would even say, yeah, you could be rich. You can be rich off of YouTube for sure. Like, just YouTube, you can get rich off of YouTube. Um, so I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it, but it's like, it's you just a lot of people just they get their monetization snatched, and it's like, okay, I'd rather I'd rather have no monetization and be able to say whatever the fuck I want to say than monetization, and then I have to watch this and watch that, and don't talk about this and don't talk about that. So I just rather not. If the consequences of that is I have no monetization, that I say what I want to say. I mean, like, the consequences of free speech, I guess. I mean, so be it. you know, um, I always knew that I could possibly make some money. Like, YouTube is one way that you can make money, but I knew other ways, and I'm working on something now, project now. Like, eventually, it will be the process. The process will be what it'll be, and I think that I'll ultimately get to that outcome, So it's not like, oh, I need YouTube. I need YouTube. Like, I mean, it never was like that. It was just a hobby, kind of a side project, and it never really, it never really got out of that, you know, and it still is, and I really don't, really doesn't bother me if it's just is how it is right now. I'm not bothered by it. I'll eventually probably get monetized again. I don't know when. I think the last time I had monetization, I think was, oh man, I want to say, damn, I think it was like maybe 2016. No, 2018, I think. And I think I had it briefly, or I don't know if I even had it. I don't even think I had it back then. Um, I had monetization at one time. I don't remember the last time I had it, but I mean, I had monetization from like what it was like 6 months ago, 7 months ago, or something, 8 months ago, and I just had it for like 1 month, and you know, I got like a $200 deposit to my checking account, and then you know, that was it. Like I mean, I go through $200 just sports betting. I mean, $200. I go through that quick. Like I pay a credit card bill and it's $200. I mean, $200 is cool, but I mean, I'm an adult. I'm a grown adult. $2,000 is a significant value. My 2,000, like $2,000 is how I looked at $200 when I was like 12 years old, 14 years old. Like $200 is like, oh, amazing. Thank you. $200 to me now as a 40 something year old man. It's like $20. 2000 is like, yeah, okay. Now you're talking. You got my drift now. You can do some stuff, pay your baby mama, you know, pay some bills, buy you something nice, That's what you can do with $2,000. 20,000, wow, yeah, this is 20,000 is like $2,000, as far as it's like a little significant. It's like the new $1,000 is the new $100. The new $1,000 is the new $20,000, or $10,000 or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's just you got bills, you know what I'm saying? You got debts, and it's like, you get used to making money, and um you just get, and then you got inflation, everything costs more. So when I say that $200 is like a, $2,000 now, it's not really far fetched, because when you put in inflation and everything related to that, the cost variance is it's a higher cost for everything. Eggs, gas. I mean, you just name it. Whatever it is that you name, it costs more for that now than it did 10 years ago. And that's inflation, that's actually, kind of, it's kind of making society more complicated, and also competitive at the same time, because it costs more for everything. So that means you have to work more. You have to do more. One of the things that I never, it's a couple signs of a bad economy that I noticed recently. Um, Doing DoorDash mainly. Couple things. One thing is, I saw a union AT&T technician doing DoorDash. And I'm talking about AT&T. He was a union member of the IBEW, which is basically, I think, like the International Brotherhood of Electric Workers. That's a big union as far as electrical trade. It's a big union, and he's working for AT&T. I know he makes some pretty decent money. He's doing DoorDash. Okay, um, not good. You know, not abnormal. You know, more abnormal would be a dentist doing DoorDash, or a lawyer, or a doctor. But you got to understand, I watched a lot of documentaries. It was one of the documentaries on like Uber and all of that. They did a documentary on it. It was like, yeah, it was a lawyer that was doing Uber. You know, yeah, it's probably lawyers now doing Ubers, doctors maybe, who knows? But yeah, like I mean, that's definitely not a sign of a good economy. I know this might sound racist, what I'm gonna say, but it's the truth. It is what it is. I was in a grocery store. I was picking up an order for DoorDash. Somebody came up to me of an ethnic group that ain't. I'm 45 years old. I've never had. This is my first time. An Arabian woman asking me for money in a grocery store. That's never happened to me. Um, Statistically speaking, Arabians, they're in like the 1 percentile as far as the wealthiest people in America. Um, like literally, yeah, Semitic people, Jews, and Muslims, they make like they're a small portion of the United States, but as far as like they're the uh basically the when it comes to wealth, they're in like the 1 percentile of like the wealthiest people in America. So an Arabian woman coming to me in a grocery store asking me for money, when I say that's never happened, take my word for it. It's never happened. I know if I go to Arabia, yeah, it's poor people in Arabia. Yes. All over Arabia, North Africa, there's poor Arabians. But I mean, in America, I'm not saying there's not poor Arabians in America, but like it's not typically that you see that. Just and then it's not typically they're asking me for change in a grocery or money in a grocery store. I think she was trying to sell her food stamps. But you got to understand, it is a difference. She's probably she probably just immigrated into the United States, and she needs some money to pay something or whatever. And she was trying to sell, I think she was trying to sell her food stamps. That's what she was trying to do. I think. I'm not 100% sure on that, but that ain't normal either. I can say, even if that was the case, which I think it was, because she said, "Can you buy me food? Can you buy food for me or something?" I don't know if that was necessarily selling, because she didn't show me any card, or she. I think that she just wanted to, like she wanted some money to buy some food or whatever. Like, but here's the thing: it's just either way, it's just not good. I mean, it's just not good. Um, but the thing is like, yeah, you know, as far as when it comes to being rich and poor or whatever, like, yeah, that middle class shit, that's how they get you. Hey, that's how they get you. As far as I'm not saying if you live a middle class life, like that's how they get you. I'm not saying that, but you would definitely have to tread lightly because I mean a lot of the whole borrowing money to live a certain type of way is dangerous. It's dangerous in the sense of you basically paying to live in a fantasy, really, to be honest. You paying for a fantasy in a sense. If you to the extreme, like, but if you are aware, okay, well, I'll just get this house and then I'll get a 15-year mortgage, because I'm poor, I'm not middle class, because I actually want to be rich. Like, if you have that philosophy, you probably more it'd be more accurate to reality, you know. But I've said everything I needed to say. You know, as far as my trading system, yeah, it did fairly well today. I don't I don't I don't know anyone that's gonna give me any money. Okay. Um I don't I don't I really it's not a really strong concern because it's just one of those things where I just gotta figure this out. The little money it is making, that I'm grateful of it. But it's just one of those things that I just have to figure out. You I thought about a prop. I thought about joining a prop firm that allows you, like, if you pass um, a trading evaluation, they'll fund you. They'll give you a trading account, with like $100,000 or $200,000, and then you trade. And you got to make a certain amount of profit. You can't take so many losses as well. Um, I thought about trying that, but because that will give me, so kind of a boost as far as I'll be able to make some money trading with these prop firms, and I could take that money and draw that down into my, my other account, my brokerage, my trading system. So I'm thinking about what I could do. I mean, you know, you know, and the thing is like I don't really need to ask anyone. Like I'm not perplexed. Like, damn, who should I talk to? Like, how can I, you know, let me look up some angel investors. I mean, like, I know people. Like, before I got on here, I think I was looking at academics live stream. Like, academics, he could give me $100,000, and that wouldn't be shit. That's nothing to academics. I mean, as far I don't think he would want to lose it, nor would he give $100,000 to a stranger that he doesn't know. But that dude can he could wire 100,000 without breaking a sweat. I mean, at least it appears as such. I mean, just looking at everything, all of the people that he's associated with, doing stuff, making money moves, YouTube, Kick, and all that shit, Twitch or whatever. I mean, dude got probably some couple millions. He's a multi-millionaire. 100,000 wiring 100,000 is nothing. Like, it's like I want this Ferrari today, like, or right now. I'll wire. I need my accountant to wire me 125,000. You know, Like, but I mean, I know it's people that got money, but I don't. I'm not trying to ask anyone. I don't have the like. I used to have like startups that I was working on, and different businesses that I was working on. I mean, I still have startups. Like I was trying to, join why, this startup, fund, that startup fund, looking at these angel investors, listening to these angel investors, and blah 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 blah. I have I have no I have no desire to do none of that with this. I mean, it's a trading system. It's working. It's making money. I already know with more money, it could make more money. That's it. That's all. I'm not trying to reach out to anyone, you know, like I don't know anyone. And then if I did do anything formal, I would have to get again like licenses, and I'd have to fucking probably start another, maybe I have to start a LLC or something or whatever. Or all of these like business formalities I would have to do to be legit. And I mean, I ain't on that. Like, that's not, as far as not right now, like, I'm just, not on that type of time. I'm not trying to go through all of that anyway. Like, not at least right now. I mean, I could do it. It would make sense to do that. I mean, to be honest, just go ahead, do what it takes to start a family office. Look into what is needed to start a small trading firm or whatever. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, and then that's one step closer to legitimately being able to seek out investors and clients or whatever, right? I mean, that might be something that I could do in the not too distant future, but um, right now, I mean, still, I mean, I'm not looking for anybody or anything because my thing is how I look at it is that I mean, obviously, is this trading system does have some value to it. Um, I'm not trying to. I'm not like trying to sell anybody anything. If you, it's like one of those things. If you know, you know. Like I told my friend, and my friend, he's one of those people that if you tell him something, he gonna tell everybody that he knows, including other people that he don't know. So it's like spreading the news. It's like put in a Facebook ad post. I mean, like, so I mean, the thing is like I'm not trying to, the reason why I'm not like, you know, trying to sell this or seek out investors is because I mean, in my opinion, it's kind of like not so much top secret, but it's like valuable. And I mean, it's not like I don't want anybody to have it and be prosperous, but I mean, like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not creating the Apple fucking 2. I mean, it's not the fucking Apple 2. Like, it's not what this is. You get a trading system. You get a trading system. You get a trading system. No, this is like, it's like my fucking, computer that I built, from the ground up, like my first computer build. Like I didn't build my first computer and just sell that shit. Spin that shit. Spin that shit. Like man, I had that computer till that shit no longer computed. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I look at it like my money printing machine. Like that's you don't sell a money printing machine. you know, I mean, not for cheap. For sure. And really, you don't want to sell it. It's not about selling it. It's about okay, put some money in the motherfucker. you know, put about hey, put about 10 bands in there. You gonna make money. Like that's how I look at it. Like I'm not trying to sell my money printer. You know, I'm trying to make money off of the money printer. And that's pretty much how I still look at it. I don't look at it any different. This is something special. It's kind of like a pet dragon. Like it's like like I have a baby dragon and it just needs more firewood. it needs more food to grow. And then it's just gonna be this, fire breathing dragon that's, flying like Lord of the Rings, and then I'll be able to say Dracarius and then light your ass up. And put out $100 bill and catch fire, so I can light my cigar while it torches your ass. I mean, like that's how I look at it. Like, yeah, like it's just. I mean, it's something. I admit it might not be magical in a sense, but it's a money printer nonetheless. It might not be magical, but it prints money, and um, it's my money printer, and you know what I'm saying, like I ain't trying to sell no fucking money printer, because it's like, I mean, okay, if I sell a money printer, it'll be a carbon copy, okay, fine, someone will have my money printer, but it's kind of like one of those things. I ain't gonna lie, I'm no different than probably any other artist or whatever, you know, programmer, whatever. Like like this is my shit. This is like I'm petty. Like, yeah, like this is my creation. Like, I don't want you get like you like I go sell this and someone gets rich off of my creation. I'm kind of petty like that. Like I'm like, nah, I mean I want to get rich. And then, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll make you get rich and we both get rich. You know, I don't want to just give you my shit and then you get rich and then I'm still trying to figure out how to get funding. No, no. But I mean, at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not asking anybody for anything. I'm not I'm not asking. And I don't think I ever will, because um I mean I already know what it needs, and it's like it's kind of like one of them things where I think I can do it. Kind of like it's like a motivation within within the things that I'm already trying to do. Like I think that I can probably do everything that I need to, like, as far as everything can kind of come from my own aspect. Like, it just needs some money. You feed this machine the money comes out, boom. Like, I just need to put money in it, and it's like that. Like, anything other than that, like, I'm not trying to, I really don't have no ambition on selling my trading system, even though people do it. That's a business within itself, selling trading systems. But I mean, I don't even know who will buy it, because like I haven't sold it or anything. I talked about like listing it or whatever on my website or something, but I really don't have any desire to do that. Like, if anything, like my friend maybe have someone that wants to buy it or whatever, but I don't know. And I just know how people are. I mean, like a lot of people just be like, yeah, whatever. Like they don't really think of it. They don't know how they either don't know how big of a deal it is or they don't believe it. They believe it's just like a fluke or I'm making some shit up or something. And here's the deal. I have no desire to tell anyone anything else or sell like, hey man, I just, you know, my trading machine is doing good. Like, I mean, like I do like to brag, but at the same time, I don't have any desire to sell anybody anything. It's like my own creation, my own like masterpiece. Like I don't have no desire to sell it. Like I don't have any desire to do anything but, you know, feed it what it needs. Feed me Seymour. Feed me Seymour. Like I mean, I don't have no desire to really sell it, this is like at the end of the day, I just, kind of need capital and I could make, whatever 20%, you keep the 80%, and it's kind of like that. Like, I mean, anything else, man, I'm really too much not interested. Like I'll sell it. I will sell my trading system. Um at least $1,500. Um and that's that. But I have no desire to even push that. Like that'll be like something like kind of like I mean like something kind of private, send a Cash App or a Zelle or something or a PayPal, and then I'll send you my trading system and give you all the instructions and all of that, and I'll give you I'll talk to you on on the phone and coach you on what you need to do, the do's and don'ts, and all of that. I mean, yeah, like I have no problems doing that, but I'm not selling. I'm not selling that. I'm not like pushing that. I'm not making no ad for it or nothing. Because at the end of the day, like it's kind of like imagine you already know you have something that makes money. Like it's like I've never seen anybody try to sell a Bitcoin miner. Never, even with Bitcoin kind of being, kind of, like I don't know, like Bitcoin. I don't know if Bitcoin popping like that. I don't think so. Not of late, right? As far as what I remember, but you ain't got to sell a Bitcoin miner. The value of the Bitcoin miner. It makes Bitcoin. You just need the Bitcoin miner to make the Bitcoin. Like it's like that. Like I ain't gotta sell this. It's not something that needs to be sold. Like um, I I don't have it's not me trying to I don't really I think the less people that have my trading system, the better. Like, I mean, like I'll be honest, like I'm petty like that. Like I'm really, really petty like that. I'm sorry, but my pettiness is definitely on 1,000 when it comes to my trading system. Like I really don't want nobody to have my trading system, to be honest. Like, um, and I don't even have probably the best trading system. Like I would have to see other trading systems, but I'm pretty sure other trading systems are a lot better than mine. I'm almost certain of it. Like I probably don't even have the best trading system. I mean, to rank trading systems, my trading system might be like almost dead last. I don't know. Like, but here's the thing, like, I mean, I know what it does and I'm happy with the results. And obviously, the more that you can put in it, the better the results. So that's just something that I got to work on. Um, it's kind of, why I'm doing DoorDash again, because it's like, I mean, at the end of the day, money got to come from somewhere. Like, and the DoorDash money can allow me to be able to invest more, do more. So, I mean, so be it. It's not a, it's not I'm doing DoorDash so I could put money in my trading account. I mean, I technically could, but it's more or less to like kind of cover other things so I can kind of go hard with my job, my income from my job type of thing. Like it's not to just technically put money in my brokerage, but I certainly could. Um, it'll be twos and fews because it just depends on how the day goes and how much money you make. But I do like the fact that I do DoorDash now. Like me doing DoorDash now is, I mean, I'm not doing it like on some struggle shit. I'm gonna be honest. It was times where I was doing DoorDash and I needed every bit of everything that was in that DoorDash account. I needed every fucking dollar that was in that DoorDash account. I was that fucking like hand to mouth where I remember, I mean, this was like a couple years ago. It was definitely during, I think it was like after I got let go from Diageo. I was a contractor, 1099 contractor, and um I didn't get any unemployment and I didn't get a job for a while. Like I think like 6 months. Took me like 6 months to get a job. So I was busted. I was fucking busted doing, I couldn't even do DoorDash to be honest. Because it just, I mean, it was just not good. But I mean, like, yeah, I remember doing DoorDash where I was like fucking struggling, doing DoorDash. And it's not a good feeling, obviously. But like me doing DoorDash now, like it's like whatever. It's like I'm just like in my car, just driving around and picking shit up, serving shit, thinking about my trading system, checking my phone, seeing what my parlays are doing, just chilling. Like, okay, and definitely all of those little bullshit orders that come off, if it's not like at least $1 a mile, fuck you. Like, I don't even give a fuck if you kick me off the app. Like, I mean, cause I mean, like, I'm not check to check. I'm not hand to mouth. I just sold a house, a year ago. I still got the momentum from that, and it's like doing DoorDash now. It's kind of like, I before I bought my house, um, I had about 8 grand that I saved. Um, and I remember like, remember doing DoorDash. I think that's when I started doing DoorDash not too long before I bought my house in Indiana. Um, yeah, I mean, like I was doing DoorDash in a fucking Benz. I mean, I mean, like, um, I was, I had money. I had a job, and I was working, and I had money saved up, and I was doing DoorDash. Didn't know what the fuck I was doing because I just started doing DoorDash, but yeah, it's a lot easier to do anything when you got money, like versus when you don't have any money and you're check to check or hand to mouth and all of that. It's a struggle, man. So um, at the very least, I have solace on whatever happens that night. Okay, it happened. You know, okay, I only made $30 or $50. You know, I'm going home, and it's like that's not all I have. I'm basically saying it was times I was doing DoorDash, and whatever I made in my DoorDash account, that's all the fuck I had. I mean, other than like my change jar. I always had my change jar. Um, but other than that, that was it. Like, and I never went in my change jar unless it was just like an absolute emergency. But I don't even like going in my change jar like at all. I'd rather touch everything, all of my money, and not touch my change jar. Like I could have no money and no accounts and all that. I still would I would touch my change jar, but it's like I would only take like a little bit of it. I won't just empty it out, all of it. Like, um, I hate touching my change jar. I don't. I just want to keep putting money in it. I don't want to touch it. But yeah, like, yeah, I remember whatever I did from DoorDash. I mean, that was all I had. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a different experience than what I'm dealing with now, thankfully. So whatever happens, man, happens. Like, I just could just kind of chill. You know what I'm saying? I do my little pickups. I keep it P for professional, and then I go home. And I make my money and I go home. That's it. But I mean, anyway, and then yeah, if you're poor, you understand. Okay, I'll do DoorDash. Middle class delusion. I ain't doing DoorDash. I don't want nobody seeing me. Like, that's that middle class shit. I mean, thankful for me, I am more of a poor philosopher. Well, no, like, my philosophy is more on the poor side of the game. I've taught myself to understand and respect reality. So yeah, I'm DoorDash it is until I'm rich, bitch.